Indiana Disability History Project, Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Indiana University, a national movement led by parents. John Dickerson.
In the late 40s, after World War II, and I think it's triggered a lot by the whole phenomenon that changed our country in World War II, where women went to work. And all of a sudden they realized they could do stuff. So up until that time, doctors, educators, their predominant advice was put your child away, forget you ever had them, get on with the rest of your life. And we had a group of mothers in the late 40s, early 50s, that got together and said there's got to be something else. They had learned they could go to work in the factories, they could support their family, and tragically many of them had lost their husbands in the war. And so they were now looking at a whole different way of thinking, and started in various places. We have this great argument in our movement of where it started first. New York claims it, Washington claims it, but however it happened, in the late 40s came together, and in 1951, we had the first national gathering of folks in Minneapolis. And out of that, it truly was an organization that started at the bottom and came together. We first formed a national organization, then we started forming state organizations. We actually, when we came together in the 50s, there were groups that were called Parents and Friends of Retarded Children. And again, at the time, there weren't a lot of adults because most of our adults had been placed away in institutions. So it was that core group of families that started us who had younger children that were rejecting that model. But it was those first early moms and dads that wanted to get something together. In Indiana, we had, again, the same kind of argument. Marion County says they were first, South Bend, Lake County, Evansville. Everybody claims they were the first. There was about 7 that formed right in the early 50s. And in Indianapolis, they pulled, we actually have it in the office, a little 1-inch ad went in the Indianapolis Star, and of course the language was, we would consider very, awkward today, but it asked for, and it just said, parents of retarded children. There'll be a meeting at the Indiana War Memorial Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. And these 2 moms that put it together, they just had this idea they'd maybe get 10 or 15 people. 300 people came. And they just sat and talked. So there was this huge undercurrent of people looking for this. And there was no internet to spread the word, no way of getting out. It was just this little 1-inch ad. When those families got together, they first looked at, we couldn't go to school. The idea of work was really kind of foreign, and it was just this blank canvas. So folks got together and started the first schools. So many times literally in church basements, and some of the first teachers were people that were accredited teachers for something else, because there were no special ed degrees at the time. And so they just found somebody that really cared and started the first schools.
Music, Redwood Trail. Produced by Indiana Institute on Disability and Community, Center for Health Equity. Funded in part by the Indiana Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. Copyright 2019, the Trustees of Indiana University.